Hello, and thanks for joining us for this edition of the Newsfeed. I'm Mason Gorelick. Montgomery County Public Schools offer a new proposal to get more students for more time than before in the classrooms. According to the proposal, the school board considers the move to Phase 3, Level 3, on March 8, 2021. If approved by all parties, this change would provide the option for all students to attend school either 4 full days each week in person or 4 days fully remote. Newsfeed reporter Abbas has more in this next story.
For sure, this won't make online education better than face-to-face. Despite online education have many other advantages, face-to-face education still has its own benefits and is preferred by many educators.
It's because we are able to better assess and understand what our students need when they are right there in the classroom with us. It is very difficult to give students extra help and just to know exactly what it is that they need help on.
Beyond the actual learning experience, students are also building relationships with their peers, and there is no doubt how much those relationships are important.
I have actually started doing a what's called a temperature check, where we send out, I send things to my students just to see how are you doing, and the feedback that I'm getting is really showing that they are struggling socially. They're depressed, they're sad, they miss their friends.
Montgomery County Public Schools send out a questionnaire to hear what families, students, and teachers want before taking the vote on increasing the in-class time. Some families already choose what is the best for their kids.
As a mom for 2 kids, I prefer school to be online. I feel it's more comfy and safe for my kids.
The contradiction between what all parties feel like, as the Arabic proverb says, people's satisfaction, unreachable purpose, made the education system the biggest concern in human history. Abbas Azanjani, Newsfeed.
The Blacksburg Transit usually sticks to a consistent schedule on their regular bus routes. However, when an inclement weather hits the area, Blacksburg Transit goes through a decision-making process on how their service will be affected. Newsfeed reporter Nick Harple joins us with more on this story.
When Virginia Tech students need to get around campus in the town of Blacksburg, Blacksburg Transit is here. However, the weather can be unpredictable at times, which can affect the routes and service of BT. Director of Blacksburg Transit, Tom Fox, explains how BT has to make quick decisions when determining what type of weather is going to affect the service.
Typically large amounts of snow or, even small amounts of ice would be the things that would cause us to make a change to the regularly scheduled service.
If inclement weather hits the area of Blacksburg midday, Blacksburg Transit will pause their service and have their buses parked to decide whether conditions on the road are still safe to operate in. If the weather is serious enough to affect the safety of BT's service, they will make a decision on whether the service should restart for the day or be shut down.
The decision is going to be run or not run, and that's based on my input from my staff and conversations with Public Works and other departments of the town of Blacksburg.
No matter what Mother Nature throws in the way, Blacksburg Transit feels prepared to do whatever is necessary in any situation. Reporting from Blacksburg, Virginia, I'm Nick Harple.
To mitigate the spread of COVID-19 and discourage travel, Virginia Tech's annual week-long spring break will not happen this year. Instead, spring break will consist of 5 single-day breaks throughout the rest of the school year. Students must adapt to their circumstances. These single-day spring breaks give students 1 full day to celebrate spring break in any way they deem fit. All classes and assignments are canceled on these days, which gives students an opportunity to make the best out of the situation. The question that remains, is this modification of spring break the best alternative to keep students happy while also maintaining COVID-19 protocols? Virginia Tech student Jake Kahn voices his opinion.
Students, much of a break. Things are all online right now, and when we only have 1 day of the week that we don't have classes, we still got work we have to do that day anyways to keep up with the current workflow.
Student safety is a priority of Virginia Tech, along with student life. This pandemic has caused a lot of changes on Virginia Tech's campus, but surely the Hokies will persevere. We see drone footage on TV all the time, almost without realizing it, but not enough students know about the Virginia Tech Drone Park and the new opportunities available. Newsfeed reporter Katie Leeper has more on this story.
This semester, Virginia Tech is offering grants to help undergraduate students get their Part 107 license.
This is not something readily available here in the East Coast.
Drone Park intern Luis Paul helps students prepare to take their Part 107 license, which is the drone equivalent of a driver's license.
What the school is trying to do is teaching you theory, having you take the test, pass the test, and at the same time coming here and training, hands-on experience.
Drone Park Operations and Training Manager Sarah Macy explains why Virginia Tech is offering these grants.
The test costs $160 though, and so we didn't want that to be a barrier for students getting their Part 107.
The Part 107 license is required to fly a drone for business or commercial purposes, nonprofit work, and education. Macy shares why students should want to get their Part 107 license.
It looks really good on a resume. Also, it's a way to say that you know how to fly drones, but not just recreationally, you can fly a drone as a professional also.
Paul urges students to take advantage of this opportunity.
You don't need to know a lot about drones, you just need to be willing to learn.
Reporting for the Newsfeed, I'm Katie Leeper. Back to you in the studio.
Just ahead on the Newsfeed, we'll find out how local restaurants plan to protect their employees against the coronavirus. And Virginia Tech hosts a fundraiser for new tea pads. That story and more after this break.
Observe a domesticated human family in their natural habitat, known to their species as the backyard.
Hey, you think I should light it now?
I think it's good.
Yeah.
Oh dear, someone is about to burn a pile of debris that's too tall, which can start a wildfire. Wait, could it be? Blimey, it is.
It's Smokey.
It's Smokey Bear. What a legend.
Hey, it's Smokey. Sorry, it was too high. Right.
Watch as he astutely ensures that there's no wind, and how he removes some of the debris to create a smaller, safer burning pile.
No, you said make it bigger, baby. The bigger the better.
Take note of our fearless furry friend here, humans.
I appreciate it. Fist bump.
Watching you.
Smokey's done it again.
Bye, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back to the Newsfeed. I'm Mason Gorelick. With COVID vaccines trickling into the New River Valley, local eateries mandating their employees to receive the vaccine has been a major ethical debate nationwide. Although the NRV is just now in Phase 1B of vaccination distribution, restaurants in town are still debating whether or not to require their employees to sign up for the vaccine. The balance between the safety of others and personal choice is proving to be a delicate one. With more on this story, here's Newsfeed reporter Patrick Cunningham.
The national debate over restaurants requiring their employees to be vaccinated has taken to local restaurants in Blacksburg. Ryan Yates, the store manager of Benny Marzano's, explained how the store will handle COVID vaccine distributions when they eventually get them.
Requiring's tough. I don't think we can make them take it, but we're going to highly recommend it to everyone. And so far, everyone that works here kind of wants to get it so we can get back to normal.
Yates also told me that no matter how much in favor everyone may be of the vaccine at the restaurant, it is still kind of tough to get people to get one, even if they don't want to. He also told me that his regional manager has left him out in the cold when it comes to whether or not there will be a mandated vaccine requirement. Lauren Dyson, a server at Sharky's Rib and Wing Joint in Blacksburg, shares the same sentiment of mandated vaccines.
I've kind of thought about it because I don't think it's right, because if somebody doesn't want to go through that and doesn't want to get it, like, they should have the choice to not get it.
Dyson also told me her plans for the restaurant if she was in charge.
Your boss should be able to provide you the opportunity to, but I don't think it should be required.
The balance between safety of others versus personal choice is once again in debate across the country and in our hometown of Blacksburg. Reporting for the Newsfeed, I'm Patrick Cunningham.
This spring will be like one we haven't seen before at Virginia Tech Athletics, with 15 varsity sports all competing at once. For more on how the athletic department is handling this time, Newsfeed reporter Evan Hughes joins us from the newsroom. Evan?
That's right, Mason. Remember that stretch of 3 months in 2020 when there were no sports and people didn't know what to do with themselves? Well, now Hokies fans can truly rejoice, with fall sports playing half of their seasons in the spring of 2021. In August, the Division I Council recommended fall sports to play half their seasons in the spring, something that has never been done before. Now we're seeing two fall sports, such as men's and women's soccer, having to share Thompson Field with spring sport lacrosse all at the same time for home games. Virginia Tech Athletics has been preparing for this unknown crossover time for the last few months, says athletic department employee Noah Nichols.
You know, departments that may not be doing some of their normal roles like marketing, maybe helping out, whether it's planning, the cutouts for our student athletes that are now in Castle so that they can, you know, have their face out there, and that'll be a cool piece for them to remember this year by. Somebody had to install all those.
Crossover of 15 sports have gone well so far, with indoor men's track and field winning the ACC championship this past weekend, baseball winning their first ever series at Miami, and softball is ranked 14th in the nation with series wins against Florida State and Clemson. Now all home games will have no fans in the stands. So something good from something bad caused by the pandemic is an abundance of Hokie sports to watch this spring. Reporting for the Newsfeed in the newsroom, I'm Evan Hughes.
Thanks, Evan. Blacksburg is holding a disc golf fundraising tournament in order to raise money to improve the tee pads at the course, which are the starting platforms for each hole. The disc golf course in Blacksburg is a community course that is free to use and is often heavily trafficked. This heavy traffic has caused the tee pads to begin to fade and fall apart, leading them to be replaced. The course itself consists of 9 holes, and with the total in repairs coming to around $1,500, they needed some help to cover the costs.
It was a muddy mess. We've had a lot of rain here lately, and all the mud around here, and just it was terrible. You'd slip and slide everywhere, and you couldn't get a proper tee shot off.
To help make the tournament more interesting, they have decided to add temporary holes to the course to make a 16-hole course rather than the usual 9. A total of 73 competitors were scheduled to compete in the tournament, which is more than enough to pay for the new tee pads. At the start of 2020, going out to see a movie was a popular leisure activity. However, the COVID-19 pandemic has since altered our ability to gather socially outside of our homes. With an inside look on how movie theaters in the New River Valley have been affected is Newsfeed reporter Isabella Sayers.
In March of 2020, movie theaters across the country were forced into temporary closure due to the coronavirus outbreak. While some theaters remain closed an entire year later, others, such as the McLean B&B Theater located in downtown Blacksburg, have begun reopening under newly enforced safety guidelines.
We have decreased the amount of hours that the theater and the restaurant and the bowling alley have been open. That has also decreased the amount of people that have been coming in to watch movies and play games, etc.
In addition to the change in hours of operation, the McLean Theater has enforced the use of facial coverings and decreased the number of people allowed in each movie screening auditorium.
In order to enter the building, you are required to wear a mask. However, once you have seated yourself, you are able to remove your mask and begin enjoying overpriced movie theater snacks.
While this theater has opened back up for business, many Blacksburg community members have stated that they were not aware going to the movies was a viable option again.
The last time I went to a movie theater was probably over a year ago, so it's really exciting knowing that they're open again.
The film industry as a whole has suffered greatly due to the pandemic. However, local movie theaters are gradually finding the safest way to bring people back to the big screen. Reporting for the Newsfeed, I'm Isabella Sayers.
That will wrap up this edition of the Newsfeed. If you have a story idea for the Newsfeed, let us know. Send us an email at thenewsfeednrv@gmail.com. And as always, you can also connect with the Newsfeed on Facebook and Twitter. Thank you for watching. I'm Mason Gorelick.